Greetings, fellow builders. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Oxygen Not Included Aquatic, Episode 5, The Rest of the Water Setup. There we go. So automation wires for the liquid shutoff and for the other automation water. So we're going to need 2 liquid shutoffs for this system, or at least that's how I'm going to build it. So I want the input and output. Basically, I want to control the flow both directions. So we're going to need another liquid shutoff once I have a little bit more front metals, and put one like here, which is essentially when it's degermified, we let it flow out. And I'll be controlling this just manually. So if I screw up, it's on me, not some automation circuit that I've set up. Yeah, Rayvac knew I was watching. Exactly. He was like, oh no! Manager's watching. Hit the button! Smash the zinc! I might need to prioritize the algae digging a little higher, only because we're going to run out of oxygen if I don't do it, and, you know, well, oxygen's kind of important. Okay. So the vacuum pump is up, and do I have more refined metals? Let's clear this and then pin. So here's what I want to pin. I want to pin pearl, gumwood, polluted dirt, refined zinc. And that keeps it up there. We'll do another liquid shutoff here with another signal switch here and an automation wire like, oops, I'm out of metal. We'll get to it. That is going to be unreachable though, so let's, before we build that, create like ladders to it so I can actually build it. And then we have like an insane amount of sweep to be doing here. I might even have a temporary bin built here just to sweep up this and then to move it again, because it's going to be a big mess. But if this is going to become a vacuum room or a chlorine room, I don't want stuff in there because that will increase the foot traffic, and unless I have an exosuit, it's gonna, so duplicants, when they hold their breath, they will still breathe out carbon dioxide occasionally. So if we do want to keep this bleach, I have this gas pump on an automation wire so that I can turn it on or off. The other thing that we don't have with this, I just realized, is a gas filter. I totally failed at building a gas filter for this system. So let's reroute this to actually use the gas filter, because I'm an idiot and didn't add one. So the pump is going to go to the input of this filter. If it's chlorine, we're going to dump it into the top right corner. And if it's carbon dioxide, we're going to dump it over here to this, like, outside area. And then that is also going to require power, and power, and power. And then this, no, the filter is going to filter for chlorine. So the orange output is chlorine, and then everything else is green. So if we open this up, the orange is chlorine. And chlorine is lighter than carbon dioxide, so the carbon dioxide should pull at the bottom where the pump is, and then if it's chlorine, it's pumped back up. So essentially, this is a manual filter that I turn on when non-chlorine gets stuck in there. At least that's the concept. Ooh, more sticker, sparkle streaking. I swear, I just got algae, but apparently not enough. Alright, printables. What do we got? Mealwood. Meh. Doctor title. No. Oh, no. Okay, I guess seeds. Once this is all done, I'll run you through the logistics behind this. Because I know it's, like, massively over-confusing right now. And I'm just telling them to sweep up the areas that have food that no one's consumed. Plus, like, omelets on the ground? I don't know what they're doing about that. Well, it's technically not an omelet. It's kind of raw egg, but whatever. And I'm just trying to clean up the pea water. What achievement did I get? Automate something. Ah, so I guess we now have the signal switches. And we just need to hook up the rest of this. Some of this is unreachable builds, which I'm going to need to engineer a temporary fix for. There we go. That should work. We're getting pretty close to the bleach room being done. Somewhat. Whoa, things got germy, and as a consequence of me not having proper plumbing for a long time. We'll do a lot of this is we were cleaning up germy pea water, and I didn't have the sinks working, so we were dumping it here, but not cleaning our hands on our way out. And yeah, I mean, you see what happened. And one thing I could do is I could force these guys to move beyond the sink to then... Oh! This is out of water. That's why. And yeah, once we have plumbing, that won't be an issue anymore. Alright, Avalka, clean your hands. Thank you. RCV, clean your hands. And then Rayvac, clean your hands. And we're building the solution so that doesn't happen. So this is still unreachable, that's fine. I think... Can we... That's reachable. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna replace the sand diagonally so it doesn't leak salt water into the system. So that the sand doesn't, like, flood back And then we can remove that and build a little extra space here. Slowly but surely, it's getting built. Our kicals are still low, but all of these are just about fully grown, so they should be ready to go in just a minute. And then as soon as this corner is replaced, this should become reachable. We just need to remove this section. There we go. Alright, this is going to be copy paste, and this is going to be sweep only, just like everything else. Gumwood should be allowed in this, so let's update. I'm going to update the default again. Gumwood is fine, refined metal's fine, copy, paste, we're good. And that's just so that we can clean up the bleach room a little faster when we want. But now, everything is squared. Yep, it's all squared away. So let's go ahead and destroy some of the ladders that are above. I'm going to replace these back wall tiles. And then have like a ladder on the side just for the aesthetics or convenience. Doesn't really matter if it's a larger room. We'll tidy all this up, and then we'll put mucin here in this bottle emptier. Which means let's start mopping up mucin for that purpose. Skill point for Rayvac, electrical engineering. I haven't tried to discover anything new. Like, I haven't been doing exploring stuff for any sublimators. So yeah, I still don't know where any bleachstone is. That's fine. Alright, we're nearly done in here. We'll do a sweep 7 to clean this up. There's some things on the ground that we don't have storage available. That's fertilizer phosphorite. So agriculture phosphorite should be allowed in here as a sweep. And allowed in here as well. That way we can clean it up. And I'll clean this up as well. So we do have the mucin to be able to use as a liquid lock here. And I'll put this as a sweep only mucin. And then that will be able to lock this, and then once it's water locked or liquid locked, we'll be able to pump out everything. Once we're done sweeping, because there will be a lot of foot traffic, we'll be able to pump out everything. And then the other thing we want is a liquid reservoir here, and then the remainder of the plumbing. So the way the plumbing is going to work is when this liquid shutoff is on, it allows water to come in here, which cycles through here. And then this will cycle back here and then bridge back to the start. So essentially, if this liquid shutoff is off, let me open up the plumbing again. If this liquid shutoff is off, the polluted water should just go in here like this, filtering around chlorine continually. There might be a better place for a bridge. And depolluting? Here, I'll clean it up a little bit. There we go. And then I have shutoffs on either end to control the flow. And then once we determine that the liquid is clean, it comes out of here, and we'll probably go to another reservoir, which then feeds to a sieve, which I intend to build, like, here. And then I'll also build compost here as well. And then a submerged storage bin for, like, polluted stuff that would otherwise outgas. We're getting closer. Not done, but closer. Now, the only issue here is this gas vent looks to be nearly overpressurized. And if that is indeed the case, I'm going to need the high-pressure gas vent researched in order to vacuum this out. So I'm going to research high-pressure gas vent, and what would likely happen is it's going to require a rubber, one of the rubber gaskets. So I don't love that. No, maybe not. I don't know. I'm not gonna do that. There is some low pressure carbon dioxide, so we'll just get like backed up a little bit, but it should be fine. I'm just gonna leave it alone. So the rest of this project is gonna be set as a 7. Just to finish it up. And then we should be able to start pumping water into the bathroom layout. Now, I already said this before, but one of the issues that I foresee happening is we're not going to have the kind of power infrastructure to really keep a liquid pump running. And we're going to want, like, tidal power for that, which I think I'm just going to make the next project, because without tidal power, someone's running on a hamster wheel, like, forever as, like, eternal punishment in order to try to get, you know, the requisite power to run pumps and filters and shutoffs and the like, and I don't want any of that. But all of the periodically outgassing pea water stuff is all tidied up now, which is good. And then most of the food poisoning stuff, germs, not that I'm cooking, but most of the food poisoning germs has been resolved as well. Gotta get a cardio somehow. Honestly, it's not a bad idea for cardio, right? Like, Rayvac now probably has really good athletics as a result. No? Surprisingly? Well, okay, 4. He's thirsty. It should be 4. Avalka is sitting at 7. Well, no, 4. Because Sparkle is moving the needle. And then 3. Blueprint! I'll do more pinch of pepper. Collecting 1 of every seed, apparently. Alright, the ox diffuser is out of algae again. I think what I'm going to do is just off this Slogo, so I don't have to consider it anymore. Oh, I didn't mean to mine natural wall. Or the back wall. Because there's other wild Slogos everywhere else. So I'm just going to get rid of that one. And then I'll have access to all this algae without having to, like, have to tiptoe around that Slogo. Sorry, Slogo. But you're yummy. I mean, not really. Alright. And the back wall of algae is there. Perfect. Plenty of algae to tide us over until we have the oxygen tunnels made. Could I hypothetically get bleach stone as a care package? Hypothetically, I could, but generally speaking, you only get materials that you've seen for the first time. So until I actually find bleach stone somewhere in the world, I'm not likely to get it received through the printing pod. But I'm also, like, super not worried about it either. It will happen. Given enough time, I'll find it. Alright, let's take a look. So, we've got a... Alright, let's shut this down. I'm going to leave the compost here, still. Because I don't have another spot for a compost just yet. But, we have water filtration. Where it's not completely finished being built. It's not vacuum sealed, and there's still a lot of sweeps left to do. But the bathroom is technically there. And now I have Royal Flush. Replace all the outhouses and wash basins with lavatories and sinks. So this is a nothing room now, miscellaneous. And then this is a proper washroom for one more morale than the latrine had. But it's not so much about that as it's about the added functionality. Of course, with no power, you know, my water pumps don't really work and it causes some issues. Alright, you can stop. We were just sweeping up salt water. I tried to get as much pea water out as possible, but I couldn't get it all. Alright, let's get the liquid lock in there as well, with the mucin. And then we just have to clean up this obnoxious amount of material. And there's a little bit of an unreachable build there, which I'm hoping this resolves, because if it doesn't, I'm going to have to move the signal switch and like build another ladder. Which is fine. That signal switch doesn't really matter until I get bleach stone, so it's kind of moot for potentially a long time. So Jeremy water goes in the Jeremy water holding tank. It gets ready for the water filtration tank, and then I don't have the return flow for the sieve yet. That is yet one more step. So in order to do that step, I think what we're going to want to do is to create a ladder up here and kind of kill off the Slogo here. And then build a sieve and submerged storage bin and compost in this area. Being very careful as to not disrupt this giant amount of seawater, because I don't want this flowing in, because I will never be able to... I can't let that flood me, because it will forever flood me. Alright, so that is unreachable. Yeah, let's temporarily deconstruct the signal so I can step one over. And then the final touches. So, interesting thing about mucin is it's flowing weird, and it doesn't require a lot to technically break a tile. So technically speaking, and I wouldn't necessarily rely on this, but technically speaking, this mucin right here is the liquid lock. Because if we take a look at the gas, this is vacuum, separating these two gases. So the mucin, unlike water or brine or whatever, which would settle here and you would need like 2 tiles of it, a single tile is enough. I'm just going with the old school 2 tiles because it's like better safe than sorry. The other advantage to breaking into this area is I will have access to the gum palm that I didn't have before. So that helps us to build up our latex supply as well. You know, maybe I'll just do a signal switch here. Doesn't really matter, as long as I know what it's to. Or actually, I'll build it there. Yeah. Perfect. Alright, that, I would say, we can keep emptying the bottles of more mucin just to, like, fill the entire tile to be absolutely damn well sure that it's never gonna leak. Oh, off, please. We don't need to vacuum that. I'm not gonna bother vacuum sealing it until all the sweeps are done, because all it's gonna do is get rid of whatever little bit of oxygen that might be in there to allow our dupes to breathe, which there isn't really any advantage to make it even harder to breathe. Avalga earned a skill point. I am going to work towards improved tidying. As much as I would like demolition, it will help for you to pick up more stuff for sweeps. So I think that's probably in my best interest. What was that warning about? Pokey? Yeah, okay. This one's being obnoxious because it's eggs nearby. Well, time to kill you and smash your egg. Keep your pincers to yourself. Oh, well, we got food poisoning, and I just used a curative tablet. So, that is an achievement. They got better. Cure a sick dupe of a disease. Now that we have proper plumbing and all, I'm going to go with the, like, anal retentive level of disinfect all things that are infected. Unfortunately, because of the lack of, like, running sinks and pumped water, we do have some, like, food poisoning risk. But, like, food poisoning is such a not serious condition. I'm not all that worried about it. Alright, taking a look at the priorities. Yeah, so that should be swept pretty soon. Just trying to get all that stuff out. And let's drop it here. Because they're bringing it over here, and that's like way longer of a run than I care to do. So the plan is to fill this storage bin, and then like once I have more downtime, I'll move everything in this storage bin over somewhere else. And the plan is to build a water sieve here, just to include it in the water filtration systems, but I need to replace some of the danger sand, because sand is not stable. The danger sand with siltstone or some sort of tile, so it doesn't, like, collapse on my head. And then we'll build the sieve here, and then I'll build some sort of, like, polluted dirt holding tank, maybe here? And then we'll be good. This project, which has taken me hours, will finally be complete, which is crazy that it took this long, but, you know. What else did I earn? Critter morph. What morph did we get? I didn't actually hatch anything, so a critter morph just happened when it happened near me. But I have no idea what morph it is. I don't see any morphed. If you guys notice any morphs, let me know, because I'm definitely not spotting anything. Those are just standard bloaters. Probably a sani shell? I was thinking, but I don't see any sani shells either. Because I crushed the row for the pokey, so it wouldn't be beacon fry, Pacu fry. I have not a clue. Well, yeah, whatever. Guess we're eating hatchlings. Oh, it is a sandy shell. It's up here. Yep. Cool. Well, if we ever want to get rid of all the saltwater germs in here that I, like, pissed into accidentally, we could try to wrangle that sani and dump it here. It's a thing we could do if we care. Because, I mean, if we're going to have polluted water, it's going to be this here underneath our colony. That's probably going to be a regular problem, I suspect, when mistakes are made. So, yeah. It's the only morph that you see naturally. Yeah, yeah, and you were right. It was a sandy shell. I mean, same here, right? It's typically sandy shells. Because I'm not really allowing anything else to morph. Because well, actually, you get tropical Pacu, but I don't know if that would count as a morph. But tropical Pacu are definitely a thing that you see a lot here as well. Because the beacons don't have a morph. I don't think the sequine have a morph either. The bloaters, I don't believe have one either. So it would just be like Pacu or Pokey. Yeah, you could get a puffed morph. I don't have any puffs though. I don't think there are any around. But yeah, here's a tropical Pacu. So that's technically a morph, but like maybe one that existed prior. I suspect because I wasn't accredited for that. Alright, well, we're about half done sweeping this. And here you can see the flow of polluted water. And when polluted water flows around a chlorinated environment, it has its germs killed. So that's essentially how this works. As long as there's a liquid flow here, the germs will die off. And it's as long as this signal switch is off, it just continually flows circular. So if I wanted, like, if you imagine this realm full of chlorine instead of carbon dioxide, this is now stuck in a chlorine loop, which kills off all the germs, and then this pipe will feed to a sieve, which then turns it from polluted water back to regular water, and it will be a germ-free regular water and potable and usable. And if I have enough water, what I can eventually do, you know, one of the reasons why this is not a closed loop yet is I'm just going to keep adding water to the system. But once we have enough water in the system, I can have the pump stop pumping to it and instead just send this water to a sieve back to the sinks for a true closed loop. So I was actually thinking of putting a liquid reservoir before the sieve. So I'm not really sure. I'm going to need to expand this a little bit more. I think what I'm going to do is, let's see. Put a water sieve here. That tree is like just kind of in the way. It's fine. Let's put that on airflow tiles. I'll probably just dig it up. I have 2 wild gum trees here, which I don't need tons of latex, so I'll just dig this up. And if I ever want more latex, I'll just plant it myself. And then that leaves room for 2 liquid reservoirs, 1 for germ-free polluted water coming off, and then 1 for clean water coming out of the sieve. So we'll take it from both. And then what I'm going to do here is drop everything out of this storage bin that was in here, copy these over, and then have this be 6 again, so we can continue sweeping up the stuff that's in here, and everything that got dumped there. So it, you know, I'll eventually clean it up, but like it's just one ugly spot here rather than a bunch in the room that we don't want it in. So the way this will look is this pipe will lead to the sieve. The sieve will lead to... Actually, let's move this bin so that I can have it be a little bit more elegant. And the sieve will lead to another water reservoir. And I'll just create the temporary bin over here. So, yes, it goes into the tank first, you're right. As I, like, literally explained how that was supposed to work. So this leads to the holding tank, which leads to the sieve, which then leads to another holding tank, which then leads this. This reservoir should only have fresh, germ-free water once done. And then that will eventually lead back to the sinks and showers once we have enough liquid in the input. Yep. I guess in that regard, I don't really need to kill the tree. It's just like awkwardly part of my like water filtration system, which I'm like okay with. As long, you know, might as well just leave it. Yeah, now we just wait till these are full. When they're more full, it works better for filtration. And then, of course, I need to find, like, bleach stone. That's a totally different thing. Alright, airflow tiles getting built. And we're nearly done with the remaining infrastructure. Just gotta sweep up the junk. What was that? I don't know what warning that was. Okay, power, obviously. It's going to be required for the sieve. Oh, here's some sublimators. Oxalate. Not that I'm really using it. So we're nearly done. I know I've been saying that a while, but truly, it's becoming the case. We don't have a lot of algae left, just 1,000 kilograms. It's not a ton. Well, technically and literally. Nearly. So, the projects after this one, not that I have a lot of time left, will probably be to tap tidal power. And I'm going to do it in the most inelegant way initially, just to not have to run the hamster wheel, and then eventually I'll have like the backbone of a power infrastructure. But version 1.0 of that is going to be jank as hell, just to warn you, like, and totally intentionally jank just because it's faster. Is there anything for CO2 capture? Right now, our only CO2 capture right now is oxyfern. It is, we don't, once I have a water filtration system, we can do carbon for that. But I mean, I'm probably going to wait until this gets built up significantly. You know, I can just keep passing the buck. Because if we added a carbon skimmer right now, we run on a hamster wheel to power everything. So it means someone's going to have to basically glue their butt to the manual generator. Because the carbon skimmer is just, it is a device that essentially continually runs because you continually breathe. So it's not something I actually want built until we're got some passive power. All right, and I'm sweeping all of the muse in here because there's no more slogos, and we won't slip, which is a stressful thing. It doesn't add a lot of stress, but like it adds up. You know, 3% per slip. You know, eventually you're gonna get pretty pissed if you just keep slipping. Thank you for tuning in to Oxygen Not Included Aquatic, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. I'm not, however, looking for feedback. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow duplicates.